Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Before we get into it, let's wish all your dads out there a happy Father's Day. This coming Sunday is going to be a special day in a lot of households, so make sure you take advantage of it and enjoy yourself. I just personally want to wish all of y'all a happy Father's Day, and I'm looking forward to mine too. And we're on this show today because of what my dad did with me many, many years ago in the outdoors. So let's move on with our weather. A high today, 88, low tonight, 77. And water temperature is fascinating. On Tuesday, the water temperature is 87. Today, it has dropped down to 79 degrees. That's one of the biggest drops I've seen in a long time. And of course, the temperature is taking the same buoy each day. So that shows you how those currents can move through. And there's a lot of truth in those currents, and a lot of fish were caught early part of the week with that warm water. The river readings getting right now. The Apalachicola, first time in a long time now, is below 4 foot. It's going to be reading 3.8 this morning, and it's in good shape. And also the Choctawhatchee at Caryville at 5.2. The Choctawhatchee dropped out just a little bit last night. The Apalachicola is staying pretty good and level. So it's getting low. Apalachicola at 3.8. It's getting on down there. They're drinking a lot of water up there in Atlanta, taking a lot of showers. All right, the marine forecast. Let's look at tide first. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn and Funeral Home and Cemetery. Good strong tides. High tide this morning at 8:31, and a low tide tonight at 7:13. So it's going to be a good tide today and a good tide tomorrow. You don't want to fish on Sunday. You want to take the day off, spend it with your family. So today and tomorrow, the river's in good shape and the tides are in good shape. And it's June, right before the full moon. What else could you ask for? It's going to be a great outdoor weekend. Let's go ahead and do our fishing game time today in this segment here. The fishing time this morning, 10:33 to 12:33. Okay, and this evening it's at 10:56 or 12:56. And that's brought to us by Barron's Barbecue Shrimp Marinade. And next week I'm going to show you some of the places you can get this. It's getting real popular now, and really good stuff. Okay, let's take our break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get started. I got a few pictures. Let's get started on those. Let's go ahead and put it on your calendar now. The Bayou Bash is going to be July the 23rd. That's right, a little bit of time, about a little over a month away. But, the great thing about this is at the St. Joe Marina. And the great thing about it, look at it, it's got 6 categories: speckled trout, redfish, flounder, pompano, Spanish mackerel, and sheephead. So it's going to be registration Friday night, July 22nd, then the first light and the weigh-ins at 4 o'clock. We'll talk more about it, but go ahead and put that on your calendar. I just put it on mine last night. All right, Ronnie Groom sent this to me. I thought this was funny. You should not plant deer food and turkey food in the same food plot. Look what could happen. Okay, that's good, Ronnie. I like that. Remember, Captain Roy Ray was on the show last week, and Greg, his son, sent me these pictures. These are the pics Captain Roy was talking about. John Farb there on the left, and let's see, that's a nice speckled trout. His grandson catching that nice redfish, and some nice fish out with Captain Roy. Got a lot of good comments having him on the show. Check this out. Winston, here's a 21-pound catfish my wife, Mary Lou Scott, caught in the Chattahoochee River above the Jim Woodruff Dam. And that is a nice one, Mary Lou Scott. Good old healthy fish. And that's a lot of good catfish fillets right there, folks. Now, where to go, Mary Lou? All right, here you go, Christian. Christian Often Camp. He sent this to me. Hey, we picked this 60 pounds wahoo up Saturday morning. Check this out. I meant to put this on a day or two ago, just didn't get around to it. Christian, that's a great shot of a nice looking wahoo, and we're fishing that day also. And look how calm it is. Christian graduated from Rutherford over there on the east side of town. Good outdoorsman. He and Dad record the show and watch it every day. Thank you, Christian, for sharing that with me. All right, here's Caleb Squires. He's down there at Tarpon Dock with a nice grouper. Caleb been off to school, trying to get back down here so he can do a lot more serious fishing. All right, Caleb. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one here, Jeff. Let's go to Seminole Wind. I was up by there Tuesday afternoon. These are the boys. This trip right here, I was just down there picking some stuff up, and I ran by to check. Their boat was coming in. These are the boys from. Let's see. This is Tracy Darby, and at the Sea Marine. Tracy took this trip, and those guys work out at the port out there, Sea Marine at the port. Okay. Joel Singletary, 53.9 pound blue catfish. 53.9 blue cat. That's a big one, Joel. Okay, that's it. That's it on the pictures. I've got some other stuff to talk about. I do want to mention, I got this note right here. I'm going to go back to it. Okay, this is from Wendy Colson. Wendy's one guy fished with Wendy and Tony Bass on the offshore trip when we go to king mackerel fishing in August. And Wendy, I've heard 2 stories now about Bill's pumps, and I'm going to talk about this on Monday's show. But people are having trouble. 2 different people that I know, 2 different boats went out and got in trouble with their Bill's pumps being getting clogged up and all. And that's something really serious, especially getting some rough water. Recently this week, the water hasn't been that rough. But you're getting rough water, and also check your Bill's pump. Make sure it's working. I'm going to talk about this more on the show Monday. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. I did have a couple more pictures I want to show you real quick. This is an email I got from Rich Frady. I'm going to read it to you and then show you the picture of it. He said, "Hey, Winston, this is Rich Frady. My brother Greg and I went out into the bay for a little trout and redfish trip. We were running about a quarter mile north of the Hathaway Bridge when we spotted what we initially thought was a German Shepherd out for a swim in the middle of the channel. He must have been late for class because he was stroking it east, straight for the college. We got closer to see if we could help him out, and wait, that's a bear. He refused all the topwater plugs we threw. Just kidding. So we positioned the boat and got him turned around, headed back west, away from the college and all that dangerous development and traffic. We sure hope he learned his lesson and stays on that west side. Even though we didn't catch much, Yogi Bear made the trip memorable. It pays to always have your camera handy. Rich, congratulations on your retirement." And here's a picture, okay? There's a picture there of the bear. Can you imagine going there fishing? That's what you see. Now they got a picture of him coming back out of the water. That's 3 pics in a row there. Coming back out of the water, headed on the west side, away from college. But I guess he was just trying to get smarter, Rich, and he wanted to go to school that morning. But like I say, he was late for class. But thanks for sharing that, Rich Frady. Also, I always want to show this picture of my dad on Father's Day weekend. I remember my dad on this special day, World War II veteran Willis Chester. He always had a string of fish right behind his old truck. I got a tickle this morning looking at it. He had his shirt tail out. That's his style now. So he was in style way before ahead of his time. So a lot of y'all will be remembering your dad on this coming Father's Day. I always want to post his picture on that. Okay, now I want to get into the scallop situation. I've been promising this week. I went to the meeting Monday night down in St. Joe. It was a very good meeting, well-attended meeting. FWC was there, and it was a situation where I just personally want to go and get information straight from the people who have been out there recently. And I've got all kinds. I got the handouts and all. This is a big handout. This is a slideshow they had. Good presentation. They do a professional job with it and break it down really good. I got 2 big handouts. And what I did, I just picked out 2 of the slides, and I thought it'd be on their website, but they're not, so I actually copied them from here. I'm going to show you. There are 2 slides I want to share with you, okay? This is from Monday night's meeting, and this one right here, this is a little fuzzy, but I just took the picture last night with my iPad. So the big thing is, this same cycle, this is adult scallops in St. Joe Bay. And if you notice, if you go to let's go back to 2000. See, it's okay. Every 4 years, we're talking about a presidential election. It don't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Every presidential election, we have a bad year. Well, ironically, it falls down to 2012 was bad. And look at 2000. See the arrow in the lower hand corner? That was the survey they took. See how low that is? So low, goes way back to 2004 and all. So this year is in really bad shape. So that was important there, but we've been there before. You saw those other years it's that low also. But what struck me, and I want to show you this next slide. This is okay. Before I show you the slide, let me explain it to you. They'll go out and they'll also they just don't go one time. They come up here 3 or 4 times a year, and they also get the what's called the they get the young scallop, the juvenile, what they call juvenile monitoring, and that's done after the spawning. It's done in September through December, and and they have little bags they can clutch onto, so they know how to do it. Well, this is one that was fascinating, okay, and I made some circles on it. Look on the one on the left now. That's the historical level. See that big circle I made? That's basically October through December. See that check mark I made? December is a critical month as far as counting the young baby scallops there. Now go to the one on the right and see where the check is at December. They didn't find any. They actually did not find any. Now, ironically, that's when the red tide was strongest from October through December. So that's why they're blaming it on the red tide, and you can see it's justified by their research. And that's what I wanted to find out, what was going on with the red tide. So obviously the research is there, and they just did not find any babies. Now, there's some out there that have all kind of plans. So the commission's going to have to make a decision coming up next week in Apalachicola. We're going to have to make a decision on what to do, and there's all kind of options. You know, just keep this regular season, have a short season, sit it out a year, but they're all in favor of replenishing, restocking. So that's going to come from some BP money. Finally, some of that BP money is going to something for the outdoorsmen, instead of the tourist development councils and all that to get tourists here. We're putting that BP money in a good situation right there. We're building reefs and replanting scallops and all. That's good stuff there. I'll give you my opinion. I personally, out of all those choices they have, I personally would like to see. I know it's going to go against. It's going to make some people mad and all, but this is how I feel about it, folks. I've been scalloping for 45 summers, so you know, it's not like I started last year. I personally feel like we need to sit it out this year, and replant some, and let these. They want to get the eggs from these they have now. They're going to try to gather them and get the eggs up in a small area so they can multiply in an area, and they're going to try to plant some more in. And next year, and they said next year is still going to be slow. So but down the line now, if we monitor it and keep it, stay on top of it, and we're going to change the limits. We're going to have to go to some kind of, they definitely want to go to size. And remember, we talked about that way back. They've got to go to a size limit. So that's going to be important, go to size limit, and also to throw out on the table maybe, and this is a good idea, maybe just have people, you catch 50 scallops or 100, whatever the number is, just like going brim fishing. You know, we got a limit on brim. I've got a limit on everything else. Instead of that bucketfuls, just limit to 100 or whatever they think the population can bear for that season. So we're going to see some changes coming, but I personally think that we need to sit it out this year. We can still go to St. Joe Bay. We can take our poke poles. We can catch crab. We can shoot flounder. We can shoot mullet. But let's leave the scallops alone. This has been done before. We know we've had a hiatus on redfish and other species. So we're going to just have to suck it up. That's my opinion. I know some people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but that's just I feel strong about it. I feel like something important that we need to do, and that's just the way I feel about it. So we'll see. They're going to make a decision next week, and it's not going to hurt my feelings if we sit it out. Okay. So while I was over there, I saw some good folks over there. The well boys, you know, they've been on the water a lot, and they hadn't seen many either. But I got to talk to Sarah Stevenson. Sarah's a young lady who has been doing this quite some time. I've been out on the boat with her and her crew and taking the survey with her. She was there, and she was the one that was presenting some of it. And actually, I went ahead and interviewed her after. So we're going to show this quick interview with Sarah, getting it straight from, you know, she's been doing it 16 years now, coming up St. Joe Bay, counting them. So again, we're going to get it from her, and then we're going to come back and do our drawing, and then we'll do our famous Friday fishing forecast. So let's run this video, Jeff. Folks, I'm here with familiar faces. Remember several years ago I would go on these scallop survey trips. This is a young lady that always gracious enough to take me, Sarah Stevenson.
Yes.
Good to see you again. And we're down here on Monday night at this hearing and all. I'm so glad to see you, because when I'm talking to you, I feel like I'm talking to the expert. And you were telling me, I said it caught some of us by surprise, but you saw it
back in December, which was when we should have gotten thousands of scallop recruits on our collectors. We didn't get any. So that was a huge flag. We had already gotten reports of the red tide high counts, those lethal counts for bay scallops, starting, and we saw it in October. When we were out on the water, we saw the fish kills. So we already knew that St. Joe was getting hit by some red tide and St. Andrews as well. And so when we pulled those collectors out of the water in December and we didn't find any scallops, that for us was a red flag. So we waited one more month because sometimes there's a delay, and sometimes January there'll be a pulse of scallop recruits, but we didn't find any in January. So then I put together a real quick note and we sent it off to our managers saying, hey, FYI, there might be a problem in St. Joe. And so as we want to do, we just kind of want to be hesitant and, like she said, make sure we don't jump the gun on any kind of, the sky is falling. So we went a few more months and we still just weren't seeing any recruits. And so that's what prompted the first kind of management workshop back in, I believe it was in April.
Now, how long have you been doing these scallop camps yourself?
16 years.
16 years, so this is not just something happened. You're the
Right.
expert at it. And when you saw it, you knew it was red flag immediately.
Right.
And so now we as outdoorsmen are facing a dilemma as to what to do, and that's what we're facing now. So we got to be really educated, and what you do gives us so much information to pass on to our viewers. So we appreciate it, and one thing they brought up at this meeting, it's not going to be a 1 year fix it all quickly, is it?
Probably not. It's probably going to take a minimum of 2 years to really get St. Joe back to levels where we want it. Not 2 years ago, not 11. We want it back in the 30s, the 60s. Hundreds would be fabulous, but that will take a little bit longer. But so we want it higher, and to really get it to that point, it's probably going to be a minimum of 2 years.
Okay, and there are all kind of things about collecting them, so we're going to just wait and see what's going to work out the best. And I know you as an biologist, you want to collect as many as you can and keep them in the cage, you keep them in a controlled environment. That's going to be the best way to.
Yes. So in the wild, you'll find them one here, maybe one there, but generally you have to swim a ways to get to your next one. So by putting 100, that's how many I want to put in the cage, which is it's 2 feet by 2 feet. So having 100, and that would be like you found the gold mine out in the wild. And so we're kind of cheating and putting them all right close together. And so we're going to put them in June. So hopefully by the time spawning comes around in like September, there's at least half of those left. Some will die just for natural mortality, just because that's what happens in the population. But if we can protect them, we can get at least 50 of those in a 2 foot by 2 foot area, and that will significantly increase the fertilization success of those scallops. So that's our plan.
That sounds really good, Sarah. There's one quick question in closing. St. Andrew Bay, what can we do?
We're going to do the same thing for St. Andrew Bay. We were going to start there this year, but unfortunately St. Joe kind of stole your thunder. So we are going to do these same methods and techniques in St. Andrew Bay. It probably just won't get geared up until maybe next year. Okay. But we got a 10-year grant to try to enhance or restore scallop populations from Escambia County to Franklin. So we're working in 5 different bays, and we're doing these same kind of techniques to try to enhance the scallop population.
That covers all the bays in our viewing area.
Yes.
That's
yes.
good news. All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, welcome back, and we'll talk more about that on Monday's show about the scalloping. Let's get to our fishing forecast. Before we do that, let's make our quick draw right here. $20 gift certificate is going into the winner is going to be Chris Carroll up in Westfield, $20 and a big red snapper. If you didn't catch one, you can still get one, and that's going to be Rayford Neighbors. Okay, that's right there. So we're going to move this over. I don't have a lot of time, so let's quickly get into the freshwater part. I want to talk about freshwater. I got some text this week, the shell cracker bedding down in Dead Lakes, and also over there at Holmes Creek. One of my viewers said they're bedding over Holmes Creek. But a full moon coming up next week. Again, it's going to be a great time to go freshwater fishing, folks. I'm telling you, the river's in great shape. I want to show this one right here. I got an email from Victor Hathcote. He was on the Choctawhatchee Bay. He was fishing last weekend. This sums up how the biting is on Choctawhatchee Bay. So he's out here fishing, and he said all of a sudden he saw this bunch of boats coming out of Choctawhatchee Bay, and all of a sudden they all headed down the Intercoastal Waterway, headed for West Bay. So he realized right away there was a fishing tournament over there going on. All those fishermen headed for West Bay. That pretty well sums up what was going on at Choctawhatchee Bay. So be aware of that. Coming up here to St. Andrew Bay, The drum bite was good at Deer Point Dam Bridge. You saw that. The biggest thing though about right offshore, you saw the red snapper. Of course, it was just phenomenal. I checked the head boats out of Captain Anderson's. There's a lot of nice fish coming in off the head boats. They're doing some 2-day trips. I'm gonna try to get on one of those. But the big thing, of course, is wahoo. You saw the pictures of Chris and Offenkamp with his and all the others. A lot of wahoo caught. Again, the early part of the week when the water temperature shot up, sailfish are also caught. King mackerel. Let me tell you what they're catching on king mackerel. I got a peer report from Bill Angevine yesterday. He said Monday they caught 40, somewhere around 40 king mackerel off the pier Monday. So that's a lot of king mackerel. He brought the point, said a lot of folks, a lot of greenhorns up there not knowing how to catch. A lot of tourists come down and get hooked up and not used to a fish that big, so some of them were getting tangled up and all. But that's a sight to behold when you get that many pier fishermen with that many kings. So be aware of that. They're really biting right there. The report from Apalachicola to St. Joe Bay, I didn't get to go, but I did check St. Joe Bay around Black's Island real quick. Really good fishing. I talked to a fisherman last Thursday morning, and he and his partner were just going out to do some fishing, and he said they'd really been catching some nice trout around Black's Island. They were camping out at the state park down there. Both families were, and he said they were going every day and catching some nice trout, okay? And you saw Fred Myers on the show yesterday talking about the redfish and how to catch those redfish. That was a great little clinic. If you didn't get to see it, try to get back on, go to YouTube and pick up yesterday's show, and Fred shows you how he rigged up for these redfish. Carabel, same report in Carabel. They're having really good fish in there. The trout behind Dog Island was good. Let me see, the bridge fishing off the bridge going to St. George Island, the old bridge right there. They got some caught a lot of nice white trout there this week also. That's a pretty good report. Now, we did a short period of time. Mexico Beach Pier is again strong. The flounder bite is picking up over at Crooked Island Sound. I got some pictures of the flounder being caught. So it's been a good week, and this weekend is going to be outstanding. I'm really anticipating a lot of great pictures coming in next week. Okay, so we're going to let's see, on Monday show then we're going to have another trip with Billy Archer. Then on Tuesday show I'm going to kick back up with the pictures and all. So Monday's going to be one of those videos where I have the whole show. You're going to see the video of us catching that wahoo. Excellent video. So that turned out to be a great trip. I had another group of guys on this one, and I had a great time. So got to wrap it up again. I want to wish all you dads out there a very happy Father's Day weekend. Take care of your family. Enjoy this weekend, and all of y'all just do something good for your fellow man. Have a great weekend in the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.